Hi everyone, welcome to Jeyald Talks YouTube channel. Today we are going to see how to give good presentations. Yes, we are going to discuss about the basic presentation skill, which is very important even if you are in the uni or college or even the school. Of course, is very important skill, essential soft skill for the all the employees in the workplace. So today I'm going to share some tips for you to make a very good presentation from my experience and lesson learned. Please stay with me 10 to 15 minutes. I will share my experience and the lesson learned with you. All right. I want to start first with five key questions, which is we need to ask ourselves, or I mean yourself, before you start your presentation. Number one, objectives. What are the objectives of your presentation? The objective should be the smart indicators. It should be specific, it should be measurable, it should be achievable. So end of the presentation, normally what we do, we measure the objectives are achieved or met through the pre or post evaluations or any other tools. So first one is the objective should be defined clearly. Second one is audience, the target people, the listeners. Who are your listeners? So we have to know before the presentation prepare who are our listeners. So then very helpful to make a presentation. Third one is the content. Content is the important one of the presentation. 70% of the time we are focused on the content. So you need to focus on the content. Whatever content, you should be confident and you should know the topic before you have the presentation. Fourth one is the time. Time is a very good one factor to determine your presentation is a good or bad. So don't take you too much time. So you should apply. There are a lot of techniques are there, methods are there, approaches are there for the trainings or presentations. So you should know how to use your time very effectively. Finally, visual aids or training aids or what are the methods or technology you are going to use. You should know the technology before you apply. So those are the five key questions simply you need to ask yourself before you start the presentation. I think you are clear now. So with these key questions, so I am going to talk about now how to write the presentation. So now the preparation time. So first one, script and notes. So you should have some script of your presentation. So you should spend some time to write some script of your presentation. So and the key points, you should remember your key points in your notes. That very helpful to deliver your presentation. Plan out your presentation. How do you going to give your presentation? So in which method you are going to use and how you are going to spend your time on introduction and the body and the structure finally in the conclusion. So you should plan out your presentation. So third one is engaging introduction and memorable conclusion. In the introduction time, you should engage with your participant or listeners. So then only you can make a trust building with others, I mean your listeners. It will be easy to continue your presentation. And finally, you should finish your presentation with the memorable conclusion. So that's why we normally do the summary of the presentation. It will definitely help for the listeners to catch up some memorial points. Finally, learn how to use your PowerPoint or similar whatever technologies, presentations tools. So I observe some people, they're very good presenters, but they struggle in the technologies. So as in the digital world now, so you should know all the digital technologies. Finally, pictures and diagrams. So it is very helpful to make accurate presentations, effective presentations. So you should be careful the copyright of the image, but you can check in the online. So if you don't have the copyrights, please don't use it. And finally, make sure you have the backup plan if any fails, if sometime technology fails, or you can expect that some other fails as well. So you should have some backup plans for that. And going to introduce the 4 P's. You may heard about 4 P's in the marketing. Now we are going to talk about the 4 P's in the presentation. So number one, plan, prepare, practice, and present. Again, plan, prepare, practice, and present. So you should practice the 4 P's of your presentation. Definitely you will make any mistake. So it should be a very good presentation, I strongly believe. So please start to apply 4 P's. Now we are going to see the structure of the presentation, which slightly we touched before. That means the three major pillars of the presentation. One is the introduction, body, and conclusion for even whatever topic. It is one of the recommendation or suggestion. So sometimes the time maybe differ, but no, a lot of people from their experience they are suggesting this type of the timing. For example, 10% of your time introduction and 70% of your time for body, and finally 20% time for your conclusion. So you should be a plan out your presentation accordingly. Now we are going to see the introduction, 10% of your total time. First you introduce yourself. That means you need to link with your participants or listeners. So I observe some people introduce themselves long time. So I mean the introduction is important, but you should spend on time which is very important one or the relevant one, which part they should know about yourself before you start your presentation. That's enough. Second one, begin with the interest grabber. It definitely helpful to make attention of the listeners while you're starting the presentation. So you can talk about very good story or video, any interesting games, but it should be very relevant of your topic. I am repeat again, it should be relevant to your topic. Third one is the introduce the objective of the presentation. So as we see the first 5 questions, the objective is the number one. So here the objective should be introduced and explained. It should be explained to the listeners what objectives you are going to achieve through these presentations. Where applicable, you should be share your main points of your presentation, what key topic you are going to touch of your presentation. So this is also important. I mean, if you have time you can touch that one as well. So this is the introduction part, and the body 70% of your total time. It's a main section, so you should be very fair. You should spend some time on your session plan. That session plan, you know what is a session plan. So what topic you have to break down by each topic within your time limit, and what technologies you are going to use and what methods, for example brainstorming or group work or individual work or any games or whatever methods you can apply with, which is the relevant one. But apply the logic to your argument, so you should stay with the logic of your contents. Second one is the discuss the pros and cons of the subjects. So you should discuss what are the positive and negative side of the subjects. Third one is sequence of arguments. So if you continue your presentations, the presentation should be the sequence, I mean should be linked with each topic. So that's I'm saying again, the session plan is very important one. If you see the session plan, so we can see how the presentation is going on. Finally, build up towards a presentation climax. Finally, when you finish, you should be share some interesting things while you're wrap up, I mean closing the body structure. That means the participants again, they will grow up their attentions. Finally, conclusions, it should be 20% of your total time. Sorry for that, it was the 10% here. Conclude about the subject matter where applicable. Make your final point. So you should be strong. You should be strong to share your final point, your conclusions of your presentation. Second one is to summarize your main points quickly. You have to summarize your main points from You can touch from introduction quickly and in the body, and finally in the conclusion part you have to touch the key points what we discussed. It definitely help for the listeners or the participants to make a memorable conclusion. Link back to the objective. So end of your presentation, you need to go back the objective sections. You have to read it and you have to ensure it was achieved or not. Or if it's not achieved, don't worry, you should keep the questions. Finally, smile and ease tension and thank you audience. I know this is one of the, you know that one, so how we need to finish with friendly. So those are the things, main things in the conclusion part. Finally, some tips for you for delivering the presentations. The best practice, of course, practice. So you should practice your presentation. So you should keep your stopwatch, or you should ask your friends watch your presentation, and you should definitely practice before you go. Second one is you should be a motivate and you should be enthusiasm. So that means you should think about your positive side. Body language and the posters. So I'm going to talk about another video of the communication skill, especially the non-verbal, verbal communication skill. So as a presenter, you should know the body language and the posters. I mean, how you can move within the audio audience and your eye contacts and how you can use your hands. So this is one of the another interesting topic. So under communication skill. Finally, finally, before final, voice. You can use your voice. You should control your voice. Sometimes the voice should be very strong to make an audience to attention, to get your attention, and sometimes it should be a soft and sometimes it should be average. So depend on the subject and depend on the audience, you should control your voice. Finally, watch your space. That means you should control your time. While you are controlling your time, sometimes you should be speed up, sometimes you should be very slow down, or keep your average time based on the audience response. So you can measure that through the eye contacts and your body language and their feedback. So always watch your space. Finally, question and sorry, not finally again, question and answer section. So you don't know what question they will ask, but definitely they will ask some question. 90% question they will ask from your content. So you should be prepared that what question they will expect it. But if you know the answers, please respond. If you don't know the answers, be smart and be honest. Don't make up any answers if you aren't sure. It is the very good thing for the good trainer or good presenter. Finally, now overcoming nervousness. Yeah, I observe a lot of people when you come the stage, they start to nervous, even they have very good knowledge or they know the everything. So the practice is a key for that. So second thing is think about positively. You can do that, and some relaxation techniques. So you can have a water in between your presentation. This is not any wrong thing. Some people thinking, okay, having the water in the meantime. So no, don't worry. You can bring your water and you can have it. I am telling one of the relaxation techniques. You can use these other techniques as well. So sometimes you can break your presentation, ask your questions, and you can get some feedback from the participants. So that is also one of the relaxation techniques I normally use. So this is some tips for you for delivering your presentation. Finally, I am going to close the presentation now with finally summarized top 5 tips. First one, let your interest and enthusiasm shine through. You should know what is your interest area. So select the topic and select that area, be enthusiasm, and you will definitely shine through. Second one is strong introduction and conclusion will focus your audience. So strong introduction is very helpful always to build a rapport with your listeners and mean make a trust building to make it connected with them. Conclusion also some participant according to adult learning, the adult they will listen maybe 10 to 15 minutes very carefully. So we should know the adult learning things. So you should apply for that as well. Finally, in the conclusion part, the attention curve definitely will increase. So that time you should apply the conclusion part with summarized points. Third one is practice your presentation and watch your timing. That's we discussed already, but I am fine summarize this now. Okay. Fourth one is your technologies. Whatever technologies, you should know that how to apply, and you should know and pros and cons of your technologies. Finally, aim to enjoy your experience. You should enjoy your presentations, and you should learn from your presentation. Don't worry about that, everyone is learning every day, so you should be ready for learning from your listeners as well. And also don't hesitate, you can share what you learn as well, so enjoy your presentation. That's all I want to spend with you now. So this is the few slides I selected to share with you. If you have any questions, please WhatsApp me or email me, or in the YouTube you can comment me as well. So I made this presentation for the school and the college university students. It is the type of presentation skill part 1. I know there are some advanced subject also there for the presentation skill. If you have time, we will see the next video. Thank you for watching, and thank you for supporting Jeyald Talks YouTube channel. Bye.